I'm Chief J.D. McClure of the Gwinnett County Police Department, and I'm also a proud veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I want to welcome all of you and thank you for joining us today. Each Memorial Day, we come together to pause, reflect, and remember those who died in service to our community and our country. Because of the forecasted inclement weather, we've gathered here in the Gwinnett Justice and Administration Center auditorium today rather than outside at the Gwinnett Fallen Heroes Memorial. But I encourage you, if the weather allows, to visit the Fallen Heroes Memorial and take in the names engraved on the stones. The memorial bears silent testimony to the sacrifices of the brave men and women who answered the call, leaving behind grieving families and loved ones. Each name etched into the stones represents a son, a daughter, a father, mother, friend, neighbor, a Gwinnetian. When we read their names, a part of them lives on, carried in our hearts. And as we say their names aloud, we remember their service and the profound loss felt by all those who love them. May their memory fuel our commitment to building a safe, peaceful, and prosperous world. Let's begin our ceremony by acknowledging those in the audience who have served or are currently serving in the military. Please stand if you are able or wave to be acknowledged. Thank you for attending today. We appreciate your service and your dedication to our country. At this time, I want to recognize several special guests with us today. First, I'd like to extend a heartfelt welcome and thanks to any Gold Star family member or friends and those honoring any specific person whose name is engraved on the granite markers. We're also honored to have with us today representatives from various levels of government. We have United States Senator Jon Ossoff with us this afternoon. Senator Ossoff will share some remarks with us later in the program. We're grateful the voting schedule in D.C. allowed him to make it home to Georgia to be with us today. I'd like to recognize Lawrenceville City Council member Marlene Taylor Crawford, Lawrenceville Mayor David Still, Snellville Council member Norman Carter Jr., former Lawrenceville Mayor Judy Jordan Johnson, and Representative Gabe Okoye. Your commitment to our community and upholding the values we cherish is especially meaningful on this Memorial Day. Thank you all for being here with us. From the Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners, we're honored to have District 1 Commissioner Kirkland Carden and retired Army Lieutenant Colonel and District 3 Commissioner Jasper Watkins III. They'll each share some remarks with us later in the program. Chairwoman Nicole Love Hendrickson, District 2 Commissioner Ben Koo, and District 4 Commissioner Matthew Holkamp could not join us today, but send their sincere regards. Any additional county leaders and staff, please wave your hand. Thank you for joining us. And we're honored to have Commanding General of the 78th Troop Command in the Georgia Army National Guard, Brigadier General Theodore R. Scott III, with us as our keynote speaker. I want to share special thanks to dedicated members of the Gwinnett Fallen Heroes Memorial Advisory Committee. Ron Bice, Carolyn Bice, Sean Bratton, Mike Finch, Samantha Finch Lloyd, and Amy Bice Reese. Let's give them a round of applause. Fueled by the impact of loss following the Vietnam War, the Advisory Committee envisioned the memorial and through collaboration with the county, brought it to life. Since it was built in 2003 using private donations and Gwinnett County government funds, the memorial has impacted many lives. It has given families of the fallen a place to mourn and the community a place to remember. For that, we sincerely thank the committee for their vision and dedication. Today, our honor guard is made up of members of the Gwinnett Police, Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services, our Gwinnett Sheriff's Office, and the Lawrenceville Police Department. We appreciate all those who served there as well. We're also proud to be joined by the Parkview High School JROTC unit, which fallen hero Ryan O'Hara was part of during his high school years. I want to acknowledge the Patriot Guard Riders for participating in our Memorial Day and Veteran Day ceremonies. And like every year, we're pleased to have the Philadelphia Wind chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Thank you all for providing refreshments for our ceremony. Among our esteemed guests are numerous community partners, advocates, and organizations, including the Korean Veterans Association and the Korean Vietnam Veterans Association. Thank you all for joining us today. And now, please stand, if you're able, for the invocation led by Gwinnett Police Chaplain Michael Soup, followed by the posting of the colors by the Combined Honor Guard, the National Anthem by Gwinnett Police Corporal Dustin Martin Young, and the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Parkview High School JROTC.
Let's pray together. Our Father, who art in heaven, we've gathered on this hallowed day with great gratitude and deep respect for the sacrifices of the fallen and the families of those who laid down their lives in the service of our country. Lord, we ask for your guidance and blessings on those who have assembled here and in similar settings throughout the United States, as well as the 17 foreign countries where some 200,000 heroes of our history are laid to rest. Today, here in this moment, we remember the nearly 700 names engraved outside on those granite pillars, and we reflect on the lives and sacrifices those names represent. Lord, help us to be reminded none of them asked for the conflicts of their day, yet each of them answered the call for their duty. As we celebrate such virtue and valor, let us go beyond words and waving flags. Let our respect and remembrance lead to our resolution. Father, help us to resolve to live our lives in a way that reflects appreciation of and accountability for the great freedoms and liberties that others have lived and gave their lives to protect. In closing this prayer, we echo the desire of generations as we plead. Lord, hasten the day that the prophets of old declared would come, that day Isaiah saw, that glorious day when nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Amen.
Mark time. Mark. Colors left. March. Detail. Halt. Freeze, Zach. Halt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's ray glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready? Now? Ready? Face. Forward. Up.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have another round of applause for our honor guard and Corporal Dustin Martin Young for the incredible job he did. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Gwinnett County District 1 Commissioner Kirkland Carden to the podium to share remarks.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you all for being here. Today we gather in solemn remembrance as we stand together next to friends and family. We pause to honor those who never returned home. Memorial Day calls us to remember the significant costs of our freedoms and our democracy. It's a cost not paid in dollars or monetary treasures, but instead a cost paid in the lives of parents, children, partners, spouse, best friends, and countless others who put on our nation's uniform and some who never took it off. Here in Gwinnett County, Georgia, we feel these losses deeply. To the families here today who bear the heaviest burden, I want you to know that Gwinnett holds dear the sacrifice made by your loved ones. Your loved ones, their names may be etched in stone, but their legacies are etched in the hearts and fabric of our Gwinnett community. The freedoms we often take for granted, to speak freely, to speak our mind, freedom of assembly, freedom to worship as we choose fit, and to elect our leaders. These were preserved by those we honor here today. As we all gather today, we know that Gwinnett County will never forget. We will tell their stories. We will speak their names. And we will ensure that future generations understand that our community's prosperity was built on the foundation of their sacrifice. Thank you. And may God bless the fallen, their families, in Gwinnett County, Georgia. Now I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Commissioner Jasper Watkins, to say a few remarks.
Welcome, everyone. I stand before you not just as a commissioner, but as a soldier who once wore the uniform and who was part of a notification team. For those who don't know what that is when a fallen hero, we would go to their homes. And that's usually made up of an officer, a chaplain, a medic, and an MP. And we have to carry that burden of delivering that news that no family wants to receive. I've looked into the eyes of mothers, fathers, spouses, children, and said the words that changed their lives forever. And it went like this. They opened the door, they ask you to come in, and then you start. I have been asked to inform you that you're, and you give what happened. And then at the end, I would have to say, on behalf of the Secretary of Defense, I extend to you and your family my deepest sympathy in your great loss. And then you would wait. I know immediately that freedom comes at a terrible cost. In my 25 years in the United States Army, I've seen the price of service in this rawest and most painful form. I've lost friends. I've stood silent at too many memorials. And I watched families grieve with a strength that I can only hope to mirror. Today is not just a day on a calendar. It is a solemn reminder that those of who never will return. It's about honoring the empty seats, remembering the birthdays missed, helping the next generation carry forward the love and legacy behind a folded flag and cherished photos. To our Gold Star families, please hear this. Your loss is not forgotten. Your pain is shared for this grateful nation, and I want to thank you for your sacrifice. Let us honor their memories through purpose by standing with their families and serving others with the same courage that they showed. We can't bring them back, but we can live in a way that reflects the values that they gave to protect. Let us be a community that lifts up those left behind, that embraces service, and that chooses unity over division. As the bugle sound and the flags wave at half tribute, let us not only remember, but recommit. Recommit honoring their sacrifice with action, with compassion, and with purpose. That's our duty. That's how we truly honor the fallen. So I want to thank you, and may God bless you and our fallen heroes, their families, and this great nation that we proudly serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Now I'm pleased to welcome Senator Jon Ossoff to share remarks with us.
Good afternoon. Chief McClure, thank you for your service and the introduction, and thank you to your whole team for your work defending the public every day. Commissioners, thank you for your hospitality here at the seat of Gwinnett County government and for your service to the county, the state, and the nation. General Scott, thank you for your leadership in the defense of our state and our nation. Mayor Still, members of the City Council, members of the state legislature, Consul General, and members of the Parkview High School Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps. Thank you for your commitment at such a young age to leadership and to defense of the United States. We appreciate you. It is a solemn honor to be here with all of you today. And it is perhaps too little understood in our society that today is not a day for shopping sales and the carefree pursuit of pleasure, but a day of solemn remembrance, a day when we pause all other pursuits in order to recognize those among us who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our republic. And I join all of you in pausing to honor that sacrifice. And today, we pay particular tribute to those whom Gwinnett County sent out into the world to defend our nation, and we will inscribe anew on this county's memorial the names of two who just in the last year have made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our nation. U.S. Army National Guard Specialist Travis Jordan Pameni, who died July 31st, 2024 in Baghdad, Iraq, assigned to the 1st Battalion, 121st Infantry Regiment out of Lawrenceville. Born in Marietta to Mrs. Yvette Pameni and the late George Pameni. Specialist Pameni grew up in Douglasville, Georgia, was a 2019 graduate of Chapel Hill High School and joined the U.S. Army that same year. His family recalls his infectious smile, his warm heart, his joy in art and music, his passion for soccer. I want to honor his family, including his wife, Nasia, who joins us today. We will also inscribe anew the name of U.S. Army Staff Sgt. Ryan Austin O'Hara, who died in a helicopter crash during a training mission near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport on January 29, 2025. Staff Sergeant O'Hara was raised in Lilburn with his parents, Mary and Gary, and his sister, Taryn. Was fascinated from a young age, say his parents, with helicopters, and especially the iconic Black Hawk helicopter, which ignited his desire to serve the nation. Grew up in Lilburn, graduated from the 2014 class of Parkview High School's Marine Corps Junior ROTC, enlisted in the U.S. Army in 2014, is survived by his loving wife, Danielle, and their son, Wyatt. We will inscribe their names among those others already written into Gwinnett County's wall to ensure that they are never forgotten. And please know, as I serve you in our federal legislature, that more seriously than any other duty I have is to steward the lives and safety of those Georgians who have signed up and answered the call with as much diligence and care as if they were my own children. And too often throughout our history, our political leadership have been cavalier with the lives of those who are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you all so much for being here today, for taking time out of your busy lives to join in this commemoration, this honor for the fallen. It is a pleasure to be with you. And any time I can serve any of the veterans, service members, or military families here or in the community, never hesitate to reach out to my office. Thank you all. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Senator Ossoff, for joining us today and sharing those words. Now, it is my honor to formally introduce our keynote speaker, Brigadier General Theodore R. Scott III, Commanding General for the 78th Troop Command in the Georgia Army National Guard. With 39 years of distinguished service, General Scott made history as the 78th's first African-American commanding general, where he leads more than 1,900 soldiers. He also serves as the Deputy Commanding General at the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence, and he is the Senior Military Intelligence Officer in the Georgia Army National Guard. Prior to his present assignment, General Scott served as the regiment commander for the 122nd Regiment Regional Training Institute, Georgia Army National Guard. He entered the Georgia Army National Guard in 1986. He commissioned as a second lieutenant in August of 1997 after completing Officers Candidate School. He served as the State Intelligence Officer, Deputy Brigade Commander of the 560th Battlefield Surveillance Brigade, Battalion Commander of the 221st Military Intelligence Battalion, and Company Commander of the 248th Military Intelligence Company. He deployed to Kosovo in 2010 to 2011 to serve as the S-2 for NATO's Multinational Battle Group East. He deployed to Iraq in 2005 to 2006, where he served as S-2 for the 118th Field Artillery Battalion during Operation Iraqi Freedom. General Scott holds a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from Georgia State University, a Master of Science in Business Management from the University of Maryland Global Campus, and a Master of Science in Strategic Studies from the U.S. Army War College. His awards and decoration include the Legion of Merit Medal, the Bronze Star, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, the Air Force Commendation Medal, the Army Reserve Components Achievement Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Humanitarian Service Medal, the Armed Forces Reserve Medal, and the NATO Service Medal. Please join me in welcoming Brigadier General Theodore R. Scott, III.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and fellow citizens, today we gather with a shared purpose: to remember and honor the brave souls who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. Memorial Day is far more than a long weekend or the unofficial start of summer, to echo the Senator's sentiments. It is a day to reflect on the true meaning of patriotism and the profound cost of our freedoms. It is a solemn occasion, a day of gratitude and remembrance for the men and women who laid down their lives so we might live free. We stand here not only to remember them, but to express our deepest gratitude for their courage, commitment, and selflessness. Their sacrifices have liberated the oppressed, safeguarded freedom around the world, and shaped the course of our nation's history. It is our duty to ensure that their memories are preserved and honored. Since the first shots at Lexington and Concord 250 years ago, Americans have answered a call to defend liberty. Our nation has fought in more than 80 conflicts, from the American Revolution to today's operations around the globe. In that time, nearly 1,350,000 soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardmen have given their lives for our country. Over 81,000 remain missing in action. The scale of this sacrifice is almost unimaginable. If we were to read the names of every fallen service member at this ceremony, it would take 47 days. This is why Memorial Day matters. The one thing that I noticed when I entered this esteemed hall, there's an incredible dichotomy at play. We have our veterans, those who have worn a uniform before us, those who have held the line to defend our liberties and our freedom that so many people take for granted, and so many people do not understand the costs that you and your families have paid and continue to pay. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for, even though you've put the uniform down, you continue to move in purpose, and you continue to move in service. It humbles me to be in your presence. And then to the future. I was incredibly energized to meet you. You are the future leaders of this country. Right now, the propensity to serve is at its very lowest. It's right around 2%. And for those who choose to raise their right hand to wear their uniform, less than 2% even qualify. So what that means is that for those our young people who choose to raise their right hand, and wear the uniform, you are the elite. Never forget that. And it is my accountability and my calling to make sure that you're positioned so one day you can stand proud to replace those who have led before us and continue to hold the line and make this nation the greatest nation on this planet. We must continue to remember those who answered the call. Honor their courage and recognize the liberties we enjoy here today were bought at tremendous price. These heroes understood the true cost of freedom. They stood on the front lines, faced unimaginable dangers, and gave everything so future generations could live in peace and prosperity. Because of their bravery, we gather here today, free to express our gratitude and celebrate the values that define us as a nation. Each of our fallen heroes was a unique individual with family, dreams, and hopes for the future. On the walls of the Fallen Heroes Memorial, every name tells a story, and let me share just a few. Arthur Clinton Wiley, born in 1899, was the eldest of 5 children from Beaufort. He enlisted in the Georgia National Guard and was killed in action in the Second Battle of the Marne in World War I. Alex French IV was a U.S. Navy veteran and police officer who mobilized with the Georgia Guard in 2009. A devoted husband and father of 3, he was killed in Afghanistan. Specialist Travis Pameni graduated from Chapel Hill High School in 2019 and joined the Georgia National Guard. He deployed to Iraq in 2024 and was lost just weeks before his first wedding anniversary. Our military has always answered the call. From the battlefields of the revolution to the mountains of Afghanistan and the deserts of Iraq. Georgia National Guardsmen like Wiley, French, and Pameni embody the spirit of selfless service. Balancing civilian life with a readiness to defend our nation at a moment's notice. More than 500 guardsmen have made the ultimate sacrifice. On this Memorial Day, we remember those who never returned home, whose names are etched in stone in memorials across the country, and whose memories live on in the hearts of their families and their comrades. We also honor the families of our fallen heroes. Their strength, resilience, and unwavering support are a testament to the spirit of our nation. Memorial Day is not only a day of remembrance, but is also a day of reflection and renewal. It reminds us to honor our heroes, not just with words, but with deeds, by living our lives with courage, integrity, and compassion. In remembering our fallen, we are reminded of the unity that binds us as Americans. Despite our differences, we are woven together by the principles of freedom, justice, and equality. Memorial Day calls us to stand united, support one another, and work together toward a brighter future. Let us honor the legacy of our fallen by striving every day to be worthy of their sacrifice. Let us never forget that freedom is not free. Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of every soldier who died protecting it. We must remember their courage and carry their memory with us, not just today, but every day. Thank you again for attending today's ceremony. May God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, General Scott, for those uplifting words and ongoing service to our country and those under your leadership. At this time, I'd like to invite Ron and Carolyn Bice of the Fallen Heroes Memorial Committee to share a few words about the Gwinnett Fallen Heroes Memorial. Yes, sir.
I'll be very brief. We got here in the program, I think it still shows Carolyn's name on the program. And as soon as we got there, well, we assumed that the general could handle everything need to be said, and he did. Did a good job, General. But Carolyn said, I don't want to speak. And immediately, first thing came to my mind, the rapture is going to happen any moment. My wife doesn't want to speak. I may need a ride home. Some of you can. But they wanted us to give a brief history, and I'll be very brief on the history. We intended this memorial to be a Vietnam Veterans Memorial because of 3 of our classmates. We graduated together. They were killed in Vietnam. Dickie Parker, Jerry Gerard, Don Wood, played football with them. But it was, as we drove home, it grew on us, and we said we need to honor others. We need to honor all of them. And one thing unique about our memorial is we included public safety. Now, this was natural to us, and I think after 9/11, a lot of other people see the connection between public safety and military. But it was natural to us. Well, first of all, I was working with the fire department. I hadn't retired yet. And my wife, Carolyn, her first cousin is Jerry Everett. He was one of the 3 police officers killed in '64, April the 17th, '64. Jerry Everett and Marvin Gravitt and Ralph Davis handcuffed together and executed. It was, in '63, they had just hired more police officers, and I think that brought it up to about 10. So, you know, when those 3 were murdered, that took out almost 1/3 of the police force in '64. It was national news. It went all over the United States and all over the world, I think, and it was referred to as the dark days in law enforcement. I just want to speak to the families real quick before I have a couple of announcements. And our 2 heroes, the family of Travis, the wife, Nasha, mother, Yvette, stepfather, Leopold, and the family of Ryan, wife, Daniel, son, Wyatt, and the parents, Mary and Gary, we want you to know, our wife and I, you're not alone. We've spoke to many families over the years. Mostly Carolyn has done the talking, and over the phone, even gone to their house, people that live here locally. We sit, we cry with them. And it's people like Ryan and Travis that we know that this service, this memorial, is not going to bring closure. We never intended it to bring closure. In fact, you probably don't want complete closure on something like this. You want to stay connected to your loved one. And it's been our prayer that this memorial will keep a connection and give you some peace and comfort, knowing that your loved one's name is engraved and he will not be forgotten. Just one other thing. There's some scripture I wanted to share with the families that it helped me. And first I'll tell you a little story about it. One of the firemen came into the station and brought a life-size poster of Evander Holyfield. And he was standing there with his boxing gloves on, you know, and they put it up on the wall in the workout room. I saw it for several shifts, you know, and I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. But anyway, on that day, I noticed down at the bottom of his poster, it had Philippians 4, 6, and 7. I said, I never noticed that. And I said, I've seen that before. And so I went back to my office, pulled out my Bible and read it. And basically it's saying, verse 6 says, God was trying to tell us, talk to me. Tell me what's going on in your life. And the best part was verse 7. It says, and the peace of God will keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Now, it will. With God's help, it will. And that's what we're praying for, that this somehow, this will give you some peace. Okay. We've got some, please, if you have time, and I think the weather's going to hold up where you can go out and see the memorial. In the plaza area, there's some bricks you'll see. And they're still available. If you would like one, we have the forms, and we have them here. We also, you can get it online, the Gwinnett Fallen Heroes.com, like one word, GwinnettFallenHeroes.com. The brick form is online. And also, many times you like to do the name rubbing of names on the wall. You can do that in the paper. If I remember right, Chad, they were out on the table at with the pencils and the paper. Yeah, okay, they're still out there. So if you'd like to do that, they're available. And at this time, I'll turn it back over to Chief McClure. Thank you.
For all you do. Thank you, Ron and Carolyn, for your efforts to honor those who have given their all to our country. For our fallen heroes who would have been inducted today, we're reminded that every name represents an entire community of loved ones forever changed by loss. Let us always remember those who serve and protect us so that we may live freely. Now, please stand if you're able for the wreath-laying, gun volley, taps, and the recessional to conclude our Memorial Day ceremony.
half right. Ready, aim, pop! Ready, aim, pop! Ready, aim, pop! Half left.
Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. We also invite you to enjoy refreshments graciously provided by the Philadelphia Wynn chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Thank you very much.